This is Gina Minyard, and this practice is called Get Resilient. It's about core strengthening, full body stability, and building our sense of resilience through a strong body and therefore a strong mind. So we'll begin on hands and knees. Come up to table pose. Elongate through your spine. Breathe smoothly and evenly. And with your next inhale, start at the tailbone, start to slowly lift. Lift your tail, lift your head, moving through cow pose. Exhale, round under. Curl the tailbone under, tone your abdomen in and up, round your back into cat. And again with the inhale, lengthen through, lift your tail, lift your heart, lift your head, arching, opening. Exhale, and rounding under from there. So a couple rounds, you can just move with the breath and get the body moving, getting the syncing up of body and breath, waking up in kind of a bigger way, the core muscles, the movement through the spine. Of course, the core muscles are what really stabilize front and back and sides of the spine. So moving in this way, and even the muscles that cross the hips and even into the shoulder blades, we could say those are core muscles too. So bringing awareness and movement here. But then I want you to pause at this next cat pose here. And then go slow. Instead of moving breath by breath, start at your tailbone and try to move very, very slowly, lifting your tailbone first. This will take probably several breaths, moving through each part of your spine. It's called segmenting. So the sacrum, and then the first lumbar vertebra, second lumbar vertebra, third. There's 26 vertebrae that go up your spine. Try to move each one individually, keeping the strength of the front abdominals that you connected to when you did the cat pose, and moving slowly through. And we're trying to feel each part here. The head goes last. So pause, then take another breath. And then with the exhale, start the movement at the tailbone once again. The head goes last. So by starting with the tailbone, the head goes last. That means you have to feel through each part and try to feel and make connection, keeping the strength of where you were before, then moving in through this movement, each part, and you really feel the muscles more deeply that move your spine, really kick on those deep stabilizers as you go. So take your time, do it one more time through. So once you get all the way to your cat pose, pause. With your next inhale, start at the tailbone. Again, try to feel each part, like the tailbone first, then move your sacrum, then move through each vertebra as you go. And it's maybe hard for you. Maybe you haven't slowed down to try to feel each vertebra of the spine yet in your practice. It's a lot of awareness, right, to move each part in this way. There may be parts that feel hard to access. That's just good information. Good to be aware of that and try to deepen your connection over time, right? So one more time, beginning with the exhale, start at the tailbone. Take your time, keep breathing. Even as you're moving slowly, keep the breath moving in that even and smooth way. And try to feel each part. Head goes last. So you're training the head to be moved by your spine instead of your head kind of yanking on the spine, kind of pulling it around, especially the neck, right? All right, so from here, come back to neutral spine. So finishing in this cat shape, right? Keeping your abdomen strong. Now can you just from feet to hips, use those legs and move your thighs back. Lift, yes, your tailbone, move the sacrum in, move the low back curve in, but just pause. And then even lift your neck and your head back up to where, do your best to establish what are called the neutral curves of the spine. That means with your legs, your sit bones have lifted, curving the low back in. There's a natural curve there. You want to keep your abdomen strong and keep the ribs puffed up to the ceiling, right? And then with the throat back, a little lift of the chin. This is your neutral spine shape here. So then move your right hand up a handprint. You bring your left hand to the front of the ribs and give that a little bit of connection there by pushing against the ribs. Keep that part back. Try to keep the spine nice and long. Twist to the left. Then your option to stretch that left arm up. And then thread it underneath. And the version of this twist I like to do here is actually to just put the side of the head on the floor, not dropping the shoulder to the floor, because that puts your neck out of alignment. Well, it's just off center. It's not out of alignment, it's just off center. But be more on the side of the head, and you keep more of a straight line from head to tail, like you were just practicing. You can push into the back of the left arm, push down into the right hand, keep your ribs in strong, and just so you can notice feet and legs working together to keep the hips stretching evenly back. You can twist a little more, keeping that balanced and steady. All right, push into that right hand, help yourself back up with your inhale. Reset both hands at the center. And then move your left hand up the handprint. We'll go the other way. So right hand can touch those front ribs, keeping them kind of knit in, even as you still have sit bones back and apart. Turn more up to the sky with that, the nice and slow twisting. You're twisting at the waist here. That left hand, arm, shoulder strong. You stretch the right arm up as part of that. Keep lengthening through your spine. And exhale, come through and underneath. And just notice this version. It's this, you're just on the very side of the head there, not dropping down the neck, the shoulder to the floor. So keep your neck in that long straight line even as you're twisting here. So push into the back of that right arm into the left hand. That'll help you to turn more. Tone your center, especially those ribs. Use those legs to keep reaching your hips back. Get a little twist there. All right. Push in your left hand, come back up to table. Reset for a moment here, breathe. All right. And from there, let's come onto our backs. So come on down. I'll do another little sequence of core strengthening here. So neutral spine is important, very important for finding center. And then that's our axis around all revolves. So we also bend and stretch and strengthen in all directions to really support that. So press your feet firmly into the ground. Bring your hand into the fronts of your thighs. Push against your thighs and keeping your hips as neutral as you can, pull your abdomen back to the ground. So it's going to be rounded, trying to get that, yes, more of that low back, and especially the ribs to the floor. Try to minimize just only rocking the pelvis way up, just sort of something that looks like you just sort of collapse down, like by just tucking your butt under, you just like collapse to the floor. That's not it. By pushing against your thighs, you're kind of resisting that movement a little bit, and then you can, especially with an exhale, pull and really want to feel the sides of the abdomen, center of the abdomen, tightening. The exhale will help you to get there. Push the breath out. And that'll help you to really use those muscles to create this deep activation. So stay there, keep it happening, or you can pick your feet up and bring hands to the fronts of the thighs and push forward and up. Yeah, I really have to work hard here. It's hard to talk when you're really deeply activating, potently activating those front abdominals as you push forward and then draw back at the same time. One more breath. Okay. Lower down from there. Let your back come back into its neutral curve. Take your arms out in a T shape by your sides. Separate your feet, edges of the mat. Steady legs. Shift your hips a little bit to the left. Lower your knees to the right. And turn your belly and chest to the left. So windshield wipers. Still strong from feet to hips. Pull your abdomen on the left. And draw into that left shoulder blades with a twist here as well. And stretching out that front of the hip. All right, bring it back to center. Recenter the hips, and hips to the right, knees to the left. Strong from feet to hips. Pull your ribs back on the right. Working that right shoulder blade, trying to get it more connected to the back of the ribs. That's part of your core connection too. Have ribs and shoulder blades come together. So that lengthen your spine, breathe. Okay, bring it back up to center. Recenter your hips, and we'll do it one more time. We'll add some leg movements, okay? Yeah, take a breath. It's hard work, okay? So, from there, again, start with feet on the floor, firmly pressing, hands on the fronts of thighs. Push forward and up and use that to pull the abdomen back, sides of the abdomen, lower abdomen, especially the ribs and the waist to the floor. Again, not neutral here, but deeply activating. And then keep that hands on thighs, and if that's feeling okay, pushing forward and up, you can try bringing both hands just to the right thigh. And the left leg hovers in space. Pull your abdomen back, lengthen your spine. Keep all of that happening. Switch legs, the hands on that left thigh, pulling your abdomen back. Right leg hovers, you feel the asymmetry here, activating all sides evenly. That's it, go back to the right thigh, push, and then option here to reach that left leg, slowly out and down, only go as far. Maybe it's just a high up like this, keeping your abdomen in that same connected place. And bring it back up to center. Hands on left thigh. Use that strong exhale as you reach that right leg. Maybe all the way down, some of you, but make sure you keep the abdomen back. And bring it back up. That's it. Whew. Lower down and rest. It's nice about pushing the breath out that strongly. That helps you to clear your stress. The inhale deepens too. It's wonderful. So again, separate your feet to the edges of the mat. This time, reach your arms overhead. And hips slightly left, knees to the right. And same thing, tone your abdomen. Pull the ribs back on the left. Keep your legs strong from feet to hips. Reach to that left knee, open up that space and that left shoulder a little bit more. All right, bring it back up to center. Second side, hips slightly right, knees to the left, that right arm reaching over, a big stretch from right hand to right knee. Narrow your waist though, and try to pull the back of the right ribs a little more to the floor. Connect to the center always. Right, that's the place, the source of your resilience. All right, so bring those knees back up. And then we got another little layer here to add in. So feet back to hip center, feet hips width. And again, push on those thighs. Narrow in and get that deep activation happening. Again, take those legs up. And now here, you can add in, lengthen the spine and flex upwards. Hold on behind your thighs to help you. It's like we've done the hands and knees, that cat shape. Right, so flex in and widen those elbows apart as you curl up. Notice the neck here. You want to lengthen through the back of the skull. Keep your throat back so you're not overly lifting the head here. And so push and pull back through the abdomen. This will stretch out your back a little bit more. Keep it all having a deep activation. All right, lower down. And now both legs stretched out long, both arms reaching overhead. And we'll add in another thing here. So take your arms by your sides, turn your legs close, like you're standing for your feet. Roll the inner thighs down, try to press your thighs flush to the floor. Notice how this makes you curve the low back in a lot. That's a good thing. Keep that, but again, tone your abdomen back. Find the place in the middle, so you're not going to be flat here, but you're super engaged, right? So lift your right leg to a hover. You can press the arms into the floor to support you. We're using those same muscles here. Bend the knee up, and now interlace your fingers behind that thigh. Keeping that left thigh grounded, even tap firm that outer right hip in, and then go stretching that leg a little higher towards straight. Breathing in. Maybe for some of you the knee has to stay bent. Some of you can straighten the leg all the way, but what we don't want here is the bottom leg to pop up and the back to flatten to the floor. So keep your legs super active as you do this. Okay, let me bend that knee, lower that leg slowly down. Again, press the thighs, inner thighs to the floor, narrow through your waist. You can press the arms into the floor and lift the left leg slowly to a hover. Hold for a moment. You feel that same activation. Bend the knee up. Interlace the fingers, the other index finger on top. Push into your hands. That right thigh pressing down, inner thigh down. From that left hip in. Push into your hands, and maybe you can straighten the leg more. Again, just as long as it's not causing you to flatten round your back, right? Keep it neutral, and that right leg really governs that. Okay, so rebend that knee. Press arms into the floor and reach that leg slowly out. All right, bend those knees up. Give yourself, you can take the knees up and give yourself a little hug, rock it out a little bit side to side. We have one more piece on the get into laying our backs. We can really activate a lot here. So feet on the floor, and here we're going to do a sequence of bridge poses, right? So feet on the floor, hips on the floor, and then keep your abdomen strong, not flat here, this neutral spine. So tip the sit bones slightly down, but activate the core so you feel really steady in the center. Then press your arms into the floor. And then this is what I call flat bridge. You're not lifting the chest a whole lot, but you're also not tucking up to go up like this. Rather keep it all neutral and then squeeze the glutes, tighten the glutes and the hamstrings to just lift your pelvis. Spine stays neutral, right? And you're pressing into the arms, so you're not tucking the tail, you're not moving your spine, you're just lifting the hips up. Right, some of you, this is new to you and you're needing some moderation. You'll just keep lifting, you'll do some repetitions, hips up and down. Those of you who feel a little more stable here, try keeping your right foot pressing, lifting your left leg up. Do about 4 or 5 here with one leg up. Works that glute, that one leg so much more. You just have to make sure you're really holding the steady center. Option even to straighten that left leg as long as that doesn't pull on your back. Right, so that's 3 for me. You're doing about 4 or 5. You count and then we'll switch. So that means, again, some of you, if you're just keeping both feet on the floor, just do as many as you can, smooth and mindful. So again, up and down, some of you can lift your right leg, maybe the knee is bent. You're keeping that neutral spine, so we're not bending at the back at all. Do not let this part, that happen. Keep this stable. And go up and down, focus on tightening glutes and hamstrings. About 4, same amount, of course, on both sides. Maybe you're straightening that leg up and down. And this little sequence we went through, one more to go for me. I think I've really tuned up the core. All right. So come on down, rest. You can take those knees up, give yourself a little hug. You can rock it out a little bit side to side. Stretch out hips and back with that, right? You can hug knees wider if you want hugging tighter, okay? So then you can tighten that deepest layer, curl up towards your legs. You can even hold onto your thighs and rock yourself up. Here we are again. And then come to table pose. So let's take that core strength out into, see what we got from here, right? So with your toes tucked under, lift your sit bones slightly from feet to hips, right? Legs doing that work, and then pull your abdomen in strong. Front ribs especially, and lengthen the spine, tailbone, top of head, 2 directions, just get long. So then stretch your left leg straight back, and right arm straight forward. Now if that needs to be modified, you can keep your toes and or fingers on the floor, but still with that sense of length. So this is asking you again to stabilize to the center. And then this right hip, pull it in tighter, and keep that left leg squeezing in, right? This should feel similar to what you felt laying on your back. Keep lifting the abdomen, stretch longer. All right, come down the switch. Right leg reaches straight back, left arm reaches straight forward, or you're touching toes and or fingertips. All right, so that back leg squeezes in. This outer left hip firms in and under. Use those strong glutes there. And again, belly, especially ribs, and really pull the navel in. That part tends to drop down, right, as soon as we extend and lift. Okay, one more breath, lengthen. Lower it down from there, so come into table. Back your knees up a little further. And into down dog, and I challenge you to make this a core pose. What I mean is keep your arms steady. Bend your knees and make sure you're in a neutral spine. Slight lift of the sit bones, curving low back in, but so strong in your abdomen. Not easy, right? So you're not dropping, breaking in the center, or not rounding your back, right? In the low back especially. Lengthen your spine and breathe. Okay, walk to your hands and come to your forward fold here. And press into your feet, lift up halfway, bend your knees, hands on thighs, head up and chest up, and just stand here, arms by your sides. Okay, so now we're going to do same kind of core work from standing. All right, so feet hips width or so, press into your feet, sit back into your hips. So this is again getting more connected to your feet and legs and how they're a part of this. So from your strong feet and legs, move your sit bones back. And here, just again, neutral spine. So pull your abdomen in, and you can take your arms by your sides, your palms back, strong through your center. Most people here will tend to kind of throw their rib cage forward. They'll kind of just bend at their ribs. Instead, keeping your ribs in, your whole abdomen working, and then against that, let your legs do the work to move your sit bones back. And here, shoulder blades on the back, so this is still really neutral spine. Okay, stand slowly, keeping your center. Then, bend your knees and again sit back that way, but now make it more of a back bend, right? More like cow pose. So keep those legs strong, keep moving your sit bones back, and then with your abdomen strong, what happens when you press your hands back, if you lift your chest higher, using these back muscles that you felt on hands and knees and even in bridge pose. So this then becomes more like, this is kind of all variations on Utkatasana, mighty pose. Right, so narrowing through your waist, hitting back into your hips, pressing the hands back, shoulder blades on the back, and just curl your chest higher. You should feel a lot of your middle back, upper back. Keep reaching back through tailbone and hips, tone through the center, bending. Right, resilience is about being able to bend and be strong in all situations. Right, so stand up slowly here, and then we go the other way. What happens when we try this in the other direction? So that means start to sit back into the hips, tighten your abdomen. Right, and from there, sitting back a little further, for this one, reach your arms overhead and start to reach forward. So this is neutral spine, but now as you go forward, think cat pose, right? So you can start at your tailbone, start to curl under, tone your abdomen, rounding your back more. And that's how you get your thighs more level to the floor. You can start to lower your head more towards your knees. Try to keep lifting those arms. If that's too much, you can just touch the floor. It's totally fine. Let's see if you can let the arms do an extension of that. All right, push on your feet, stand up slowly. Yes. And exhale, lower the arms. Right. Take a breath. That should also be hard work, so getting all those parts coming together. A lunge. Just step your left foot back. Hands on the front thigh. You'll be in the same shape as downhill skier, neutral spine. So feel where that is, and just toning in around that. And with hands on hips, start to lift up a little higher, and this feels more like cow pose. Tighten through the center, brace front to back. Think about still reaching through your spine evenly, grounding through your legs. Now with hands on hips, curl your chest higher. Keep your throat back so you're connected through your core all the way through. So bracing front to support that deepening back bend. Try arms by your sides, pressing hands back, or you can even reach those arms overhead and really stretch up and really open from that place of centered connection. So then backwards through the transition, reaching the arms forward again, torso forward, back to neutral spine, then adding that piece where you round forward, flexing like cats, but nice and slow, root through the legs with that, and then slowly touch down. Step to plank, hold, downward facing dog, stretch back. And step forward or hop, hands on hips, head up and chest up. Rise with your inhale. And step your right foot back, second side. Settle and breathe with hands on the front knee. It's that angle of downhill skier. So brace to the center, front to back. And then build on that. You can bring hands to hips, or steady legs, strong glutes, and start to unfold more towards that cow shape. So you can still pull in the center, front to back. Still strong through your core, and all the way up into the throat. Elongate your spine, get stronger, the middle back, upper back. Try with arms by your sides and palms back. And your option two, again, reach those arms slowly overhead. As you reach up, continue to elongate through the tailbone, through the top of the head. Take one more big breath here. And then moving through neutral, right? So come out of the back bend, back to neutral spine. And then slowly, slowly as you come forward, lift your core, root through your legs. Slowly touch down. Plank pose. This time holding in plank, drawing in through center, and lower slowly down onto your front. Strong legs, lift into cobra, even towards an up dog. That's in your practice. Be strong in your core, front to back, belly, ribs, and throat. Use those strong shoulder blades to open you more. Downward facing dog. And so press into your hands. Steady those arms. As you bring a little bend to your knees, you can tone your belly, your ribs, and your throat back. Find center here. You can re-stretch your legs once you get there, or not. Remember, you can keep the knees bent if that's pulling you out of alignment in your spine, to straighten them. And then bring your right foot a little closer to your left, and with an inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. And can you lift that leg? Remember, bottom leg could be bent, while keeping your core super strong. That right hip super strong, like we did on all fours. Stretching through without breaking at the middle. That's resilience, right? Lower that foot down, second side, inhale the right leg up. Or left knee could be bent, right? Squeeze in with that top leg, firm that left hip in. Keep your abdomen strong, maybe that bottom leg is also straight. Stretching through a little bit more. All right, lower that foot down. And walk up about halfway, and hands on hips. Rise with your inhale, and take a breath. So we'll add a couple more standing postures. So for this one, you want to have a block to the front left corner of your mat. And stand more or less at the center of your mat. It's going to be right foot forward, left foot back, shorter lunge here. All right, so scissoring with your legs, pulling into the middle. Keep your abdomen strong, right? And with that, remember the twist that we did. So scissoring with your legs, take your arms out in like a little, how wonderful, bend of your elbows. And tighten the abdomen, start to turn at your ribs without turning your legs. So that means squeeze in with the legs. This front leg wants to pull back with you. Push forward through that knee. This is you turning from your ribs, not just moving your arms, not moving your hips, right? Turning through the center. So start to lean forward with that. And then right into revolved half moves. Like, what? How'd you get there? But that's where that builds up from, right? So remember, if it's standing leg could be bent if you need it, that back leg long and straight. Use those ribs as abdominals to twist. The arms really just follow that opening. So as you're moving at your resilient center. Right hip super strong, toe in the middle, twisting. And then can you untwist, undo the way you came in. Then second side, so set up your block. On the other side, I'm going to put mine down. Taller is fine. Get what you need there. But I think block is super helpful to make sure you can keep a nice long spine. So you hold the center more. So when you're in the shorter lunge, both knees bent, squeeze into the middle, narrow your waist, and twist. As you draw with your legs from that left hip in, narrow the ribs, turn from your ribs. And just as you're twisting, you'll tend to pull, you tend to turn around instead of twist. How do we resist that? Squeeze with your back leg, push that left hip and thigh a little more forward, pull in tighter your ribs so the twist opens up. from your strong center. You start to lean forward, and it's like you're almost already there. So you just lean and tip into it, unfold it. Back leg especially straighter. This hip's got to pull in so strong. Turning on the axis, elongating your spine. Breathing in, breathing out. And untwist from there. Coming back the way you came. Breathing fully, breathe in, breathe out. All right, so an example of a strong standing pose you can do from that kind of resilience. So bend your knees, sit back into your hips, again, hands on thighs. You can add those arms forward, and with that, bend your knees more, tone your abdomen, round your back, and bring the hands behind the line of your feet. Tone the core in and up. Stretch your legs only as much as you keep that torso and legs close. Those torso, yes. Folding in from there. So then inhale, arch up to halfway, then just lower down to hands and knees. We're just going to sit in Virasana, so feet pointing back. And use a block, any amount of height, maybe 2 blocks. The feet pointing back with the edges of your feet. Widen the sit bones. Just ground into your hips. Find your center here. In this shape, often you get a little more low back curve, with sit bones more freely back and apart. Then sometimes if the legs are crossed in front, so you might notice the difference here. Curve that low back in, strong at your belly, your ribs, throat back, sitting at your steady center. Here you can just take a few smooth, deep breaths. Deep into center. Exhale, elongating your spine. Strong and open. There's a resilience. How we can bend from this place of strength.